Hello and welcome to our audience of fleet managers. My name's Marc Sibbald and I'm here as your host with our podcast series for 2025. This is the very first episode and we're excited about a big year ahead. It's our fourth season of podcasts and so far we've had some fantastic guests. It's been really great to have leaders of our industry sharing their stories and helping you understand what's happening in the market. And in early January, a great story came across our desk, and we thought this had to be the first podcast of the year. It was really exciting to see, and it comes from probably a bit left field to what most of our fleet story is about, because we talked so much about electric vehicles last year and sustainability. But this one gets back to something that's really close to my heart because I was a mechanic. I started out life as a heavy vehicle mechanic. So my two guests today are involved in a business called Truck Tech, and their business actually services heavy vehicles in our fleet management industry. So I'm really excited to have them both join us. So with me, I have Barry Saad, the founder and CEO of Truck Tech, and the more exciting guest, and apologies Barry for saying that, but the more exciting guest is Dr. Jana Matthews, who is the Chief Growth and Development Officer at Truck Tech. Dr. Matthews has extensive experience helping companies scale their operations. In addition to first-hand experience helping several companies grow billion-dollar valuations, she has published 8 books. She studied at the University of London, Yale University, and holds a doctorate from Harvard University in Management and Planning. Now, she's joined the executive leadership team at Truck Tech. Now, when I read that, I thought, wow, that's a really great CV to bring to a business like Truck Tech. So Barry, welcome, and Dr. Jana, welcome.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes. And so Barry, I was just reading out the CV, and that sort of experience normally isn't associated with mechanical business. What inspired you to bring Dr. Jana on board, and how does her expertise align with Truck Tech's vision for growth?
Well, Mark, clearly, you're a mechanic by trade, and you understand that we're really good and we're experts in fleet maintenance and fleet management. And there's nothing more enabling than bringing the right people into your business and into the team that are experts in growth and growing the company. Truck Tech's been on a great journey to where we've been able to get it through today. But the opportunity and where the industry is going and what's happening with fleet maintenance, what better person would it be to get an expert in growth and development, a part of your team, to help you take that next step and next journey through your business?
Yeah. I probably better take a step back and just ask, how long has Truck Tech been around and when did you start the business?
Truck Tech's been around since 2007, so we're going into our 17th, nearly our 18th year. I started Truck Tech in the back of a service ute. I did my apprenticeship and loaded our tools into the back of a ute and chased the Australian dream, I guess, and really had the opportunity to build a business, build a company to what it is today, and really excited to continue growing into this industry.
Yeah, and just maybe a little bit more for our audience. So from the back of the service ute to a national operation now, you've got quite a sizable footprint, haven't you?
So currently we're across the East Coast, so in Queensland, Victoria and in New South Wales, with 3 workshop branches, over 120 technicians and staff across all 3 states, including on-site workforce, our technicians at our customer sites, our mobile field service team, and obviously our 3 state-of-the-art branches.
Yeah, fantastic. That's a great story, and as an ex-mechanic, like hats off, because it's really hard to run one service truck, let alone a network like that. So, well done on the journey so far.
Thank you very much, Mark.
I might bring Dr. Matthews into the conversation. Dr. Matthews, having worked with many SMEs, what sets Truck Tech apart in terms of growth potential and marketing position that made it an attractive opportunity for you?
So I met Barry when I was doing a growth clinic, and he was one of the companies that ANZ had selected from their customer base that they thought would benefit from having a day with the doctor to look at their organization. Because you want to build sustainable environments, but we want to build sustainable companies as well. And during that clinic, I was impressed with Barry and his desire to grow and his vision of what truck could be. And it's not just to grow for him, it was to grow because the industry needed the kind of fleet maintenance, the kind of care and concern and worry about safety that he and his team provide. So he came into the full program, and he and his team then did 3 modules over 9 months. And at the end of that, we also gave them one of the awards for the promising growth. And then I worked a little bit more with him as consultant as they were doing their 3-year plan. And this became clear to me that the opportunity in fleet maintenance, with the fleets growing as fast as they were or expected to between now and 2050, with a CEO like Barry, who is so focused on customers and safety and employees and building the right culture and getting the right people, building an executive team and learning, willing to learn, willing to change, willing to try new things, that I've found this a wonderful package in terms of if I could apply all the things that I know on that, how far could we move them and how quickly could we help them achieve their own goals? So that's kind of what attracted me to the Truck Tech team and to the Truck Tech story.
That's amazing. It's almost an advertisement for young people to become mechanics, hearing the upside there and hearing the potential. It's not as probably cool to leave school and become a heavy vehicle mechanic these days, but you've just made the potential there sound amazing. So yeah, that's great.
I'm an advocate for the younger ones joining our industry, and without a doubt, we're changing the perception and improving the perception to being a truck mechanic, bus mechanic, or trailer mechanic really to what it really is and where it deserves to be is so far so much more better and so much more exciting to be a part of this industry and where the industry is going.
Yeah, fantastic. So this may be a question for Barry, it may be a question for Dr. Matthews, but I'll maybe start with you, Barry. What are the key milestones you set for Truck Tech in the next 3 years, and what does success look like to you?
What are the measurements of success? What does success look like for Truck Tech over the next 3 years? I think the key is one of the keys is the number of heavy vehicles that we can improve the safety on. The more heavy vehicles that we look after, the more opportunity our technicians be able to raise the standard of that heavy vehicle, ensure that it's safe. Number one, that's a huge piece, a very important piece, of safety for the driver and the rest of the community. The second part of it is ensuring the heavy vehicle, the truck, bus or trailer, is on the road when the customer needs it to be able to deliver what it's been purposely built to deliver, which can be medical and supplies, which could be picking up kids from school, which could be food and groceries into Coles and Woolies and all of those. And there's so much more that obviously the heavy vehicle fleet and obviously road transports it's enabled to do and deliver. So one of the key milestones is obviously the number of fleets and the number of heavy vehicles, trucks and trailers and buses. A second key is the number of technicians. The number of good technicians that are values aligned with us, that care about safety, care about safe heavy vehicles, care about the customer. Very important. Understand what pressures the customers go through by not having that truck on the road. Understanding how important their role is to the supply chain and to what to be able to deliver these goods. We getting kids to school safely. It's something that's important to a mechanic, and it's important to me, and that's our responsibility as a technician to be able to do that. So, obviously a key success measure will be values aligned technicians and being able to build values aligned technicians, which is part of our academy and part of our training and development stuff, things that we do for our technicians. So they're key. And then last, obviously, this is geographical, is, trying to taking on the key workshops in the key geographical areas, growing further more geographically, and the opportunity to really deliver what Truck Tech does to more and more fleets and customers and communities.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So, Dr. Matthews, normally when I ask that question, I hear a lot of KPIs and revenue targets and everything like that. But the first thing Barry said was about safety, and for the heavy vehicle industry, that's one of the key mantras almost. It's about safety.
Amen.
Is that the sort of passion you identify as being a business that has the potential for growth and innovation based on your experience?
So early on, we did an organizational assessment of truck tech, and we had the employees rate the organization, rate the leadership, rate the culture, rate the people, the customers, and so forth. And then they had an opportunity also to write some comments. And I was so impressed with one of the fellows who said, it's really important for me that the job be done right and that the truck that leaves here is safe, because I don't want my family in a car following a truck going 100 miles an hour in a truck that we haven't maintained properly. And that thread runs all the way through. I was just in Victoria actually yesterday at the facility and talking to the employees. And they were talking about, this is so great. We help each other diagnose what the problems are. The best decision I ever made was actually to come here. It's enabling me to grow in the job. I'm learning new things. I'm working with great people, and we're getting safe trucks out the door quickly. When I asked the branch manager, what is the truck tech way? He said the truck tech way is you work on a truck until it's finished and you get it done on time, safely out the door. That's a pretty unusual KPI to be internalized within the organization.
Yeah.
When you have people believe that's what Barry said, walking around doing blameless problem solving. Let's solve the problem. Let's not point fingers at who's to blame. Let's do it. If you can say it, then you do it. There's no bullshit here. These very simple values that we look for are truck tech's values. Yes.
Yeah.
It's part of our values, without a doubt.
Yeah. Okay.
And sorry, but the last one is also enjoy the adventure. Appreciate the adventure that we're on. We're not always going to get it right. We'll make mistakes, but we're here learning all the time. And I just found that a very impressive value for a company to have, especially we're not talking about a high-tech company. We're talking about a company that uses a lot of technology, though.
Yeah. So one of my questions that I was going to ask Barry was, I suppose it relates to the culture there. How do you balance the rapid growth and expansion that you're obviously planning and hoping for, and while preserving the core values of the company? That must be really challenging.
Aligning and finding the right people that align to our values, and clearly our values are very important to the business. We've gone, as the company's grown, and as every company grows, you want to learn and make the challenge and enjoy an adventure. But really, over the last 18 months, the business has really clearly defined its values, clearly been able to build training and opportunities and systems and processes that align and been able for us to scale our culture and our values. It's such an important piece to us. We train our values, we hire to our values, and it's not cliche. At Truck Tech, for us, it's what we do. And again, if we're going to talk about our values, obviously they are important to us. It's really defining the people that resonate and align to our values. That's the most important piece, and really being able to educate, train, and teach people the Truck Tech way and the way we do things, and why it's important to do it the way we do it, and how Truck Tech does things. It's not all about just pushing the truck out. It's making sure, number one, it's safe. Number two, have you done it correctly? Is it quality? Is it not going to come back? Number three, what are the opportunities of learning? Can we teach another technician what you learned on that job as well? So it's very, very important to be able to build that within the culture. It's in the way of we do things. It's expected, it's set the standard, the expectation of, hey, you joining Truck Tech, it is that customer focus. We expect safety. We expect quality work. And we also expect you to not only learn, but also teach and bring the apprentices and the traineeships and everyone, even the technicians, mate. Your senior technician can learn from you if you've got an experience with a job and stuff like that. So it's a huge piece of how we've been able to do it and continue to build those training and those systems and processes that we have.
Yeah, well, I suppose that leads me on to my next question, because people are important, and I get that. But Dr. Matthews, with your experience in organisational development, embedding systems and processes to support this Truck Tech's growth, and as they that must be a challenge for all businesses, to make sure that the business, you have the right people, which is a great foundation, but having systems and processes that can grow with the business as well. Is that an area that you can help the Truck Tech business and team with?
Indeed, and you are spot on. If you're a customer, you want to be sure that the the vehicles that you take, whether it's in Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland, or Timbuktu, that they will be treated the same, that you will have the same customer service, that you will have the same quality, that they'll emerge well, repaired, maintained, and that there will be safety built in. So you want that across the board, which means there have to be processes and procedures that are followed at all of the branches with all of the field service staff. So that's part of the process. Another is that as a company grows, there will be things that it did and then it adds on and adds on and adds on. At some point, you have to step back and you have to line out the whole process. And we did that at Truck Tech, and I think we went from something like 157 steps down to, I don't know, 87 or 57. Anyway, a much less than half of the number of steps if we then looked at how's the most efficient way to do that. And efficient means cutting down on time, cutting down on potential for mistakes. And so this constantly thinking, how do we recruit and select and onboard and orient and give feedback to employees? How do we continue to identify the customers that are the appropriate ones for us, and then make the case and onboard them and give them customer service and do the work for them? How do we, you get to see the replicability of whatever it is, so there's a consistency across the board of the quality that you're going to get all the way every time you touch Truck Tech. And that's part of those processes and systems that you're talking about.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, I might just pivot away from the business, but talk about electric vehicles. I noticed in the information that when I saw the press release come across initially that you've gained approval to be a repairer for BYD's commercial electric vehicles, so trucks and buses, I'm guessing.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So congratulations. But how is Truck Tech preparing for the growth or the growing shift towards electric fleet, and what challenges do you foresee with this transition?
So the growing shift to electric heavy vehicles in the light vehicle space, it's here. And for the guys that we talk about the industry in general, but even in the heavy vehicle space, we currently look after about 300 electric buses, a bit over 300 electric buses, and trucks as well. We're really growing into that truck space, partnering with BYD and becoming their after sales repair agent. We're an independent fleet maintenance company that has opportunity to work on BYD, and partnering with them has allowed not only the business to be able to get the accreditations to do work on electric heavy vehicle, but it's also supported my team and the technicians, which we talk about training and my technicians, or not Truck Tech technicians, get the opportunity to learn on how to work on electric heavy vehicles, upskill themselves, look at the latest technology, get the opportunity to work on it. And being independent, it's not only on one single brand. They get multiple brands that they can work on, and the opportunity to learn and work in regards to how do we fix this? How does what I do on this type of electric heavy vehicle align to this type of electric heavy vehicle? And Mark, you being a mechanic, the foundations are very the same. Some of the basic foundations of assets and of fleet maintenance, as much as we've innovated, most of the foundations are the same. So really be able to teach and embed and give the opportunity for our technicians to work on electric heavy vehicle space. It's coming. It's not going, in my opinion, and it's going to grow as aggressively as the light vehicle industry. But in heavy vehicle, we already have on the road electric trucks, electric buses, and we're moving into electric trailers at the moment, with regenerative axles and electric drive axles. And some of our customers run electric, reefer trailers, which are important. So electric trailers and that. So really getting an opportunity in taking the front foot and taking lead in the independent space for electric heavy vehicles is important for Truck Tech.
It's really good to hear the foundations are still the same, because I've still got my mechanic's license, and if this journalism thing doesn't work out, I know who to ring now.
Got to get through the vetting process.
Yeah. Well, it sounds very. Yeah, I think I might be all right. Well,
I think you'll be fine.
You're pretty tough, but pretty tough.
A good attitude. You got a good attitude. You're halfway there.
All right, excellent. Thank you. So I suppose, Dr. Matthews, the pivot to electric, and as Barry mentioned, it's coming, but it's not maybe accelerating as fast as a lot of people would like. But does that create a competitive advantage for TruckTech that they've gotten in early and they're doing the training and they've got alignments with global organisations like BYD? Does that help them in the Australian market?
Oh, absolutely, no question. And of course, they are living the example in terms of many of their own trucks and vehicles are electric as well. I was actually surprised when I got there how many there are. But yes, as Barry said, for the technicians early on to get an opportunity to work on and then track the developments over time, no question that places us in a great position.
Yeah, all right, excellent.
And we have echoing Dr. J, we have internal electric fleet as well. So our internal fleet, our company fleet, we have electric heavy vehicles. We have over 14 electric vehicles as part of our own fleet. So really taking on board as well. We want things to be part to maintain it, but it's great to be a part of it as well in that change.
Yeah, that's fantastic. 14 heavy vehicles or cars, or a bit of a mix?
A bit of a mix. Majority light vehicle.
Light vehicle, yeah. Okay.
Cars, yeah, but we are testing and beta testing a fair bit of electric vehicles as well. So with our pickup and delivery heavy vehicles.
Yeah.
So we do pickup and delivery. So.
Yeah. So, it's changed a bit over the last 6 months, but 14 vehicles a couple of years ago, that would have made you one of the largest electric fleets in Australia.
Mate, yeah, it's changed lately. Look, with the heavy vehicle stuff, there's bus companies out there with 50 to 60 electric buses at one depot. That should give a glimpse of the vision of where it's going. Where full electric bus depots and full electric truck depots. It's not something we're thinking about, or hopefully it's going to come. It's here. It's just now about the evolution of innovation, evolution of battery power, evolution of the grid. How we're going to improve the grid, how we're going to get the power into it that's efficient, and they're working on it. And in anything that you work on consistently and consistently want to improve, they'll get there, and they're not far off. And it's something that's, again, it's important, and it's something for obviously we're proud to be a part of.
Yeah, no, excellent.
And we'll be ready when it comes.
Yes, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right, no, that's excellent. So I ended up getting into electric vehicles, so our audience will be familiar with that. So at least we haven't steered too far from our regular podcast topics. But Dr. Matthews, I'll probably just finish off because I'm still really intrigued, and I mean no disrespect to the TruckTech business, but there's probably a view in the industry that the automotive sector is probably not as the growth it's not as exciting as tech or banking or finance or anything like that, but it's still a foundational part of how we get goods around Australia. Heavy vehicles, I think everything we touch in our daily lives is moved by a truck at some point in time. So with all of your experience locally and globally, what I suppose a business like TruckTech, and what are the growth opportunities? I'm trying to think of the right phrase here, but is it a unicorn? Is that the term they use for tech businesses? What is are the skies the limit for a business like TruckTech with the right processes, the right people in place, and the right plans?
So, Mark, I think you've said it very well. I think that's exactly right. I've had a lot of experience in the States. I've worked with companies, as you mentioned, billion-dollar companies. I know venture capital. I also know a lot about what goes into success. 50% of success has nothing to do with the company. It has to do with what's going on in the environment, what's the opportunity, and do you happen to be at the right place at the right time? But the other 50% is totally in the control. And that has to do with how well is the company led? What is the strategy? What is the vision? Do we get the right people? Do we move quickly enough to get the wrong people out of the company and replace them with people who are a better fit or more knowledgeable or fit the values, who can do the job? There's a whole concatenation of factors that you have to get right in order to grow. And a large amount of the other 50% depends on the CEO and whether the CEO is willing to make the changes, willing to grow, willing to stop doing things that they did in the past, things that worked, but things that are not going to work as the company goes to the next level. And so what I looked at and I found over this 9-month program that ANZ had sponsored for 10 companies in that class, and what I found was that Barry was continually taking it in, talking it over with his team, and then executing in between the 2-3 modules. And they came back with their 1-year plan. They came back with a 3-year plan. They did the market research. They focused on a few industries. They changed what they were doing and focused on fleets of 50 or more. They made the changes very quickly. And that suggests to me that there's an opportunity to grow quickly when they can change, and there's a big opportunity on the outside. So to go from 3 locations to multiple locations in the next few years, to hire more people because we know what we're looking for and we know how to attract them to us like a magnet, getting the needles jumping out of the haystack. We know how to help people develop their branches. There's the how-to that I have that I can apply as long as Barry and the team are willing to learn and take it on board. And so far, I've seen that they have been.
Yeah, once again, fantastic to hear. As one mechanic to another, Barry, well done, and really exciting for you to recognise that you need getting the right people for you to recognise Dr. Matthews and doing the course and taking that extra level as well. So, congratulations.
No, thank you, Mark. I appreciate that, and I guess it's the driver to be able to, the why we do it. I guess it's just the heavy vehicle safe, and giving the opportunity. That's key driver. Our customers want their trucks to be safe. They want them on the road. They want them compliant, and they want it under budget. And that's what we're working with our customers. So that's one huge why. And the other why is mechanic to mechanic, giving mechanics the opportunities that I didn't get when I was an apprentice. There's an emotional driver to that, getting the brand new service units, building the facilities with the best, big workshops, great workshops with the great tools, brand new service trucks with all the equipment in them, and the training. We didn't get that opportunity when I was coming through as an apprentice. So, being able to give the mechanics and the technicians and the electricians and the fabricators that have worked for us that opportunity. It's a driving why for me as well. And it's important, again, if we talk about the perception of mechanics, if we can have the opportunity to change that and attract more people to see how important it is and how fulfilling it is, and to be part of this purpose of keeping these heavy vehicles safe and keeping them on the road. It's just a huge purpose for us, and it's important for me in getting the opportunity to grow a company, and to grow the company to be able to bring on more fleets and more mechanics to give them access and that opportunity to be a part of this journey. I've got to say I'm very proud, very, very proud of it, and very willing to do what needs to be done as a business in the right way, and bringing the right people around me to learn from them and to make the decisions and to grow the business. That's all of it in a nutshell.
Yeah, fantastic. All right. Well, thank you both for your time. Thank you for being our first guest of the year on the 4th season of our Fleet News Group podcast. Look forward to following the growth and seeing the business as I'm out and about talking to fleets that run heavy vehicles and own heavy vehicles. So
thank you very much,
again.
Mark.
Thank you. Thanks, Mark.
You.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. All right, there, audience. That's it. It's our first podcast for the year over and done with. Hopefully, I wasn't too rusty as a host. You're normally used to Caroline Falls, but I should have mentioned at the start, Caroline's actually moved into retirement after many years with Fleet News Group. She joined us back in 2015. She's actually sailed off into the sunset, so she's left this podcast hosting to me. You can check out all the stories on any of our websites. We have Fleet HV News, we have Fleet EV News, and Fleet Auto News. And look out for our Fleet News Group magazine, which is launching in 2025. It'll be available at most of the major fleet conferences around the country, as well as in Qantas Club lounges as well. So thank you very much for listening.
You've been listening to Fleet Auto News podcast. It was edited and produced by Isabella Fiorentino. The original theme music for this podcast was created by Isabella Fiorentino. You can follow us on Spotify. Just search for Fleet Auto News. We're also on Instagram, Facebook and YouTube. Our website is fleetautonews.com, where you can get all our stories, videos and podcasts. Until next time, drive safely and take care.